Okay.
So I'm recording.
Okay.
Um, so, well, first of all, how have you been?
I'm good.
Good.
Really good.
What have you been up?
Busy.
What are you doing these days?
Well, I teach at Howard University. I'm assistant professor there in the design program.
And how has that been with you for your learning differences?
It's been good.
How do you grade papers?
Yes.
Is that difficult or no?
Sometimes, but not too much now.
Yeah.
I've gotten to know how to evaluate and stuff. Like I go by this evaluation sheet that I made for myself on what I should be grading them on. And so it hasn't gotten too bad. I've worked at it for so long.
Yeah.
And then I grade projects too. Because mostly I don't have to do really too many papers, but mostly projects. And
do you ever go for help when you need help, or how you should grade this or grade that?
I would say probably at the beginning, I did have mentors, elderly professors to kind of help me. They shared, let's say, examples of their evaluations and stuff and how they grade. So I kind of would pick off from there and kind of use that as a helping tool for me.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
But I would say they had helped me, certain mentors, and also with the help also with my mother, who had been there for years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's actually a great transition for me to ask you. Do you remember when you were diagnosed, or were you too young?
Oh boy, I think I was young. I was probably around 8, 9 or something.
And how did your mom react to your diagnosis?
She reacted really well with it. She really was seeking, wanted to know how she could seek the help for me.
Yeah, and what about your dad?
Oh, he was another story. He thought there was nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
When my mom came to him to tell him, oh, I tested her, got her tested, and she's been diagnosed that she has a learning disability. And he was like, oh no, my daughter's fine. There's nothing wrong with her.
Yeah. Well, that's, in a way, it's kind of good to act like that, but you want to be careful too.
Yeah.
How is your mom still a mentor to you? Does she still support you and help you whenever you need it?
Yeah, she still supports me, and helps me. I would say what her help was that she made sure that I got the proper either tutors or, somebody who I needed to help with, let's say, when I was in school, because I did my undergrad at Howard University.
Yeah.
And when I was there, I made sure I went to, we have a student services. So I made sure I went there to kind of get the help, that I needed. And so that's one thing that all through all my schooling, I always made sure they had some support,
Mhm.
services for
Yep.
students with disabilities. And I always seek them, and I always seek for accommodation letters to give to my professors on terms of testing, to make sure I got more time on testing or more time on my work. So,
How was your life through college? Did you have any troubles in college?
um, well, I would say like the first year, coming out of high school,
Yeah.
and then I was going to, big university,
Yeah.
you know.
Probably scary at first.
Yeah, coming from a small school,
Mhm.
So I would say it was a little bit of an awakening.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it was for all of us Lavies.
yes.
What about bullying? Were you ever bullied or picked on?
Yeah, I would say back in when I was younger,
Mhm.
especially when I was in the public school system.
Yeah. Well, that's
Um,
a different story.
yeah, yeah, and that's when I finally realized, I guess when my mom realized that there was something need to be done because of my problems were reading.
Yeah.
And I had teachers used to skip me,
Yeah.
go on to the next person to give whoever need to read.
Yeah. Been there before.
Yeah. So,
But did you have any, do you remember any particular incident with a kid or no?
um, let's see. Well, I mean, I did have some. I said some people who probably were kind of, you know, maybe kind of picked on me, seeing because I was different, or
Yeah.
um, and one thing about me was with my disability has to do with verbal language,
Mhm.
um, and how I would talk.
Yeah.
So one thing was when I would talk very soft sometimes.
Mhm.
Um, Back then, now I'm
Now you're
talk
just
a
loud
lot.
and about.
But yeah, back then, and so I used to always get picked on that about, oh, speak up, Raven, we
Yeah.
can't hear you.
Yeah.
Or what are you saying? Because I would sometimes say things backwards.
Did you ever get teased for your name or no? I mean, I wanted to let you know, my father has always thought your name is the most beautiful name he's ever heard in his life.
Aw,
Huh.
thank you.
Huh. But I mean, with a name like that, I'm sure there's got to be something that, came up.
Yeah. Things like, oh, you're a bird, or,
Yeah. Things
or,
that weren't really original at all.
yeah, and like, then I would be going into my ethnic. They would be like, "Are you Native American?"
Yeah.
And which I mean, my great parents are Native
Yeah.
American.
Oh, my wife is part Native American.
Okay.
Yeah. And I actually just did a DNA test and found out that I have some Native American blood in me as well. But, way, 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 way back when.
Uh-huh.
So, anyways, well, thank you so much, Raven.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm
I hope
glad.
I
I'm,
answered all the questions.
you did. I'm really, really glad that.